This is Jeff Fila from Albany Digital Services, and I'd just like to show you some of the offerings I have for virtual tours and websites, single property websites, for some of your real estate listings. First, I'll start with a virtual tour slash single property website for a home that has really nice photos. So this is good for a larger home, something where we can get in and get a lot of photos. This happens to be an equestrian property, and it was a large property, and I was able to get some drone photography as well. So I do have a drone, and if it's legal in the area that we're doing it, or if it's a large private property such as this, it works out really well. So what I have here is a kind of a home splash page where you can see in the top left is the real estate agent's contact information, a few pages in the menu on the left here as well, and then some large full screen pages. So again, this is well suited for a property that has really nice, that can take really nice photos and has a lot to show. So the user could toggle through, they could, using this arrow, go through some of these photos. These are just some quick slider photos here. And you notice they can click on About This Home or Photos and so on through these. They could also click this full screen to make it full screen and shrink it back down to get back to the original view. So About This Home is generally an image and then some of your text. And usually this is the text that comes from the MLS. But of course we are not limited to the number of characters that we have or words that we have. So you can type whatever you want here. And I have an editorial background, I have a journalism background, a journalism degree actually. So I'll certainly help with the wording and phrasing of things. I don't want there to be typos and things like that, so I'll certainly help you out with that. In this case, I happen to have a list of features, some kind of highlights here, and a list of features. I just take these right from the MLS or the Realty USA listing. On the bottom, we've always got contact information. Okay, that's About This Home. Photos. Again, this house was well suited for high quality large photos. So I was able to separate it into some different sections. You can see, for instance, if we want to look at some of the aerial photos that I took with the drone, you can see the thumbnails and also click on it to see a full screen version and just toggle through. Out of my view here, there's an X you can click or hit escape to get out of that photo. Same thing here, we can go through the bedrooms, the master suite. Again, click on it, go through, and close out or hit escape. I always try to include map and directions. Of course, that makes sense. So this is a Google map embedded into the site, and the user can click on the thumbnail to get directions to the location. In this case, it defaults to the address, and then you can type in your location to get directions. And of course, you want them to contact you, so we've got your phone number here on the top, and we have the contact button with some information here about the agent and contact form on the bottom, and of course her email on the right. It's important to stick with the Department of State rules, and I do that as well. We note the cell phone, we note the full name of the agent, and so on. Here's another example of a same type of property. It was a nice large property with some good photos that I was able to take. So again, home, sliding through some pictures. About this home, the description. This time we have a lot of different information we can provide. Photos. Map and directions. Same layout, and again, contact. And here's yet another example. This is a slightly different layout. The real estate agent didn't want the information up here on top. We have it down here in the bottom. Again, another slider to go through large photos, About This Home, Photos, and so on. This one has a virtual tour included in it, and I wanted to show you how that works. So a virtual tour may be just something you want to embed in a website, something that you want to have clickable from the MLS. So in this case, this is one embedded in this website, but if we click on full screen here, and let me reposition this, you can see the virtual tour sliding through. So this, for the purposes of this video, the screen is small so you can see it. So in a normal size screen, these wouldn't wrap. But in this case, It's just sliding through these different pictures. The user can click the arrows and go through. They can pause it and so on. Now this is sliding through. This is using that Ken Burns effect. I have so many different templates to use, so many different looks as far as the text goes, the colors, the buttons, if we want the slideshow on the bottom or not. So many different options to choose from, so you're not stuck with any particular layout. Certainly we can have things like your contact name and phone number and information on every page if we wanted to. We could have it larger, we could have it positioned differently. So really whatever you want to do with the slider, with a virtual tour, I can do. It's almost virtually unlimited, the options that I have. Okay, so I'm going to look at a few others. This is another slideshow. Again, a different style. We've got the pause and forward and backwards button here in the bottom left. This one happens to have a thumbnails on the bottom to click on. So another option for slideshows. Okay, so your property might not be the type of property that you need a full screen slideshow for, but we do have some other options as well. So I have a few here with some Realty USA colors. And what I do is I have a header on top, and of course it's got your contact information, your email and your phone number. It's got usually a photo of the house in the background and then the text on top of it. And then it always starts with a little slideshow showing some key photos. There's always these little widgets on the bottom, a link to directions, a link to your contact page, maybe a QR code if anybody uses that anymore. And we can click on more information, which will bring us to the About This Home, or we can click on See Photos, which will bring us to the Photos page. Again, anything here can be customized as far as colors go and things like that. Let me just slide this up a little bit. So here's the About This Home. Again, this one is, we've got some smaller photos. I think these were provided to me. I didn't take these photos. And again, I get the information from the MLS. I can take your listing and edit it or make it larger, make it longer if you would like. Photos. Same thing here. We have some nice photos. And we can click on the photo to get a full screen and again slide through. Now what you're not seeing, let me move my screen down a little bit. This is what it looks like full screen here. So again, I can click on one and get the arrows. I can hit escape or the X to get out of that. Okay, that's photos. Map and directions, same information that we saw before. A map marker, click on it, put in your address to get directions. And of course we have a contact page, a form that they can fill out that'll go to your email, your phone number, and again information on the right here about the house. Another thing I have here is what's nearby. You may know about walk score. So this one loads the walk score for this if you want to show what's nearby. And that's the whole point of walk score is, this has got a low walk score. 100 is the best. 9 is obviously very low, meaning it's not a very good location for walking to restaurants or schools or things like that. But that's not really the point in our area. In our area, what's more important is what's around. So we can see that there's several restaurants around. I can click on this to find information about them. We can see that there are coffee places and bars. So if I wanted to see, well, what's the closest grocery store? I can go to groceries, click on this arrow, and I can see what's close by. Okay, there's a Price Chopper 2.7 miles away. There's a Hannaford 2.9 miles away. So that's one example of, again, a house that maybe you don't want to go for full screen photos, although these are actually very nice photos in this one. Here's another one, maybe a little smaller, same situation. Same tabs on the front, information on the bottom, links to get to those, about the home, photos, maps and directions. Here's another walk score. This one, of course, is only a 3 out of 100, but again, what's nearby? So I can see coffee shops, bars, groceries, and so on. And here's one more. Again, one thing you should notice is the theme that I'm using. So this is for Patty DeMont, and she wanted to use a particular theme. So colors, I can do anything you want as far as colors go here. Any layout here. So if you want your own layout and you want to use the same style every time you do a website, that's perfectly fine. I'll set one up for you. We'll work on it, tweak it the way you like it, and then I'll save it. And then every time you have a new house to post, we can do it in using your same theme. So it makes it a lot more efficient for me, and it keeps your branding and your colors and your style the way you like it. Okay, and lastly, I'd like to go over pricing. So the single property websites, which is the website that either shows off the large photos or maybe even smaller photos, but it's the website that shows the About This Home, photos, contact, and those several pages, the map and directions page. That's $55 if you provide the photos. We'll have to talk individually about pricing for photos depending on where the location is. Virtual tours, again, same price, $55 if you provide the photos. Again, it looks a little different because the virtual tours have the slider. We can have audio on that, and it's usually full screen or something that you want to embed. So the difference between them, again, single property websites includes the whole website. Virtual tour is just the tour that you can use somewhere else. This is when you don't need the different pages. If I'm taking photos in Schenectady and Albany County, it's $89. And you'll remember that Realty USA covers $69 of the cost for homes that are over $320,000. Your out-of-pocket would be $20 because Realty USA would cover the $69. Because I do have to travel from Colony, Saratoga County, it gets a little more expensive, and it's $109. So again, you would cover $40, and $69 would be covered by Realty USA. Photography, I have the proper lenses, wide angle lenses, and I have tripods and lighting and everything I need for photography. And a drone, I have top of the line GoPro and new drone. So we'll have to discuss pricing for that. It's usually an hourly rate, and it just depends on where it is and what we expect as far as timing. So that should be it. I'm looking forward to working with you. Feel free to contact me at any time, jeff@albanydigitalservices.com, or call me at 518-302-1117. Thank you.